We
You're
look
saying
like...
that we, the modern race of people, were genetically engineered by this superhuman race of aliens that came from other planets.
And that we look like them.
This idea has been reflected and espoused by numerous others in recent years, including the eminent archaeologist and researcher Zecharia Sitchin, author of the best-selling series of books on the subject, The Earth Chronicles. Mr. Sitchin explains.
You can see here her features a little damaged. Her divinity was marked by the pair of horns that she had. She held a jar with the water of life, and she was surrounded as a decoration, but perhaps also symbolically, with a symbol that some refer to as...
He further states the entwined snakes are actually symbolic of the DNA molecule. Dr. Sitchin later concludes the records of the Bible teach a condensed version of the same general story of this Anunnaki race coming down from above and genetically engineering us, creating us in their image as a hybrid slave peoples to work and labor on their behalf. These beings, according to Sitchin's work, are the source of man's ideas of the gods and goddesses. But is this really true? Is the biblical account a mere condensed version of the same story as recorded on the Sumerian cuneiform seals? Or, in reality, does the Bible tell a different story and give us a different origin as well as a different reason to explain these heavenly visitations? What does the Bible have to say? In Genesis chapter 6, in the first few verses, we read that the sons of God saw the daughters of men and that they actually married them. And we also read, a little further on, that they produced children by them. This sentiment is reflected in all the major mythos of ancient cultures. The Bible not only describes this intermarrying of the angelic race with the human race, but also suggests these fallen angels taught their wives the magic arts forbidden by God, and yet today these very arts are receiving a huge resurgence of interest on a worldwide scale, and I do not think that this is by mere accident. It is obvious the histories of the Sumerians and other ancient cultures, including the Mayans, Incans, the Gita's of India, and numerous others, tell this similar tale of those who from the heavens came down. However, only the Bible deems these beings to be sons of God, or literally, fallen angels, while all other cultures paint them in the light they most desperately desire, the role of God Himself. So perhaps these ancient records and modern-day UFO experiences do not really reflect those of aliens from faraway worlds, but rather, perhaps, they serve more as proofs of the angelic race. Jesus said in the Gospels that a man would leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife, and they being two would become one flesh. Most biblical scholars believe this to be the sexual union. But it is not the sexual union where a man becomes one flesh with his wife, but rather the resulting conception. So too, when Jesus refers to one flesh as marriage, He is likewise speaking of this physical fusion of the two gene pools. The fallen angels, those who came down from above, did take wives of all they chose, and they further applied genetic technologies with the women, or upon the women, to produce their amazing hybrid progeny. These offsprings were known as the Nephilim, and it was because of this corruption of man's gene pool that God destroyed all flesh from the face of the earth. He opened up the windows of heaven and smote the earth, causing the great deep to burst forth in one day. This resulted in the global worldwide flood. But Noah and his family found favor in the Lord. And God spared Noah and his family, for one reason only, because his line was the only human line left free of this demonic genetic manipulation and production of these fallen angels' hybrid seeds. Though the angels of God are very beautiful, Satan, one of the most beautiful angels at one time in heaven, and his minions have fallen from their first estate. And in spite of the claims of many, they look nothing like us. The Anunnaki did not come down from the heavens and genetically manipulate us to look like them. What they were attempting to do was to genetically manipulate themselves to look like us. This produced giants in the land and many hybrids with mutations with 6 digits on each hand. When God flooded the world, he destroyed these hybrids of humans and angels, but the angels themselves remain and have made many attempts to again enter into the human population and reintroduce this hybrid race. How is it that the angels could come down and intermingle with humans when they are spiritual beings? Well, we are also spiritual beings, but whereas man was created to live in a physical body, angels are created just a little higher than we. The angelic race, both good and evil, were created to have the ability to move back and forth between the spiritual and physical realms. They can transform themselves into any appearance they desire, and become physical or non-physical at will. In the 18th chapter of Genesis, God appeared to Abraham in the form of 3 men, or angels, and these angels ate with Abraham. God's angels appeared many times throughout human history to people, and they were physical when they appeared. The book of Hebrews tells us a great many things about the general nature of angels. In Hebrews chapter 1, verses 13 and 14, it says, "But to which of the angels did God say at any time, 'Sit at my right hand until I make thine enemy thy footstool'? Are they not all ministering spirits sent forth to minister for them who shall be heirs of salvation?" This passage gives us the reason why angels can become physical. They were created to be messengers, ministers, and literally go-betweens of the physical and spiritual planes of reality. Later on in Hebrews, we are also told to keep kindness towards strangers and be generous to strangers, for some have thereby entertained angels unawares. While many think these are wormholes for beings to travel the vast distance of space from their world to ours, what we are actually witnessing is the opening of the chimney, or literally the windows of heaven, as recorded in Isaiah chapter 24. Then God declares the ends of these demonic angelic beings, as well as the royal bloodlines that worshipped and served them from the very beginning, and who helped these beings deceive the entire world through science, falsely so called, and the pharmacy arts. These beings are indeed with us, and have been since the fall in the garden. They are all around us, in the air, and usually beyond mortal sight and sound. They are a vast network of wicked spiritual beings on the verge of revealing themselves to the whole of humanity for the purpose of complete and total spiritual deception. These beings are very, very real, and every now and then we get a glimpse alerting us of their presence.